Blog Talk Radio.
You're listening to Pipebomb Radio. What? With your hosts, Felix Olmedo and Austin James.
This voice, this is power. In anybody else's hands, this is a microphone. In my hands, it's a pipe bomb. It's showtime! Woo!
Good evening, everybody. Welcome again to another edition of Pipebomb Radio tonight on this nice and cool, calm, relaxing Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, I guess you could say. It's summertime's coming, and you kind of wish you kind of can't wait for those cool days because you get sick of them hot days. Well, that's California life for you, folks. As you've noticed, I am not actually joined by Austin this week. Good riddance, you little pest. I'm running things on my own tonight. I think that's nice. That's the way. I kind of like it. Anyways, no, he's actually gone today, so he will be returning next week. For tonight, we're chatting with an old pal of the show. She's a sweet, awesome lady. Her name is Julie Hart, and I will actually be contacting her right now. In the meantime, let's get this number dialed up and have a good show. I think we can. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and dial up the number, folks. Bear with me just a second, and we'll get this show on the road. Bear with me just a second. Oh, don't you hate it when you're trying to dial a number and you look at it and you see it backwards and it actually is not that way? Yeah, well, that's me for you. Austin will tell you. If he were here, he's not. Okay, here we go.
Good morning, USA.
Good morning, USA. I would have expected you to say, good morning, Canada. I'm just kidding. Or maybe Vietnam. Hell, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I was going there somewhere with that.
Well, then again, I don't know. Too many people would know that reference, but then again, I guess I'm an old fogey, too. So I'm not calling you old. You're actually, you age better than I do, let me tell you.
Aren't you sweet?
No, I'm serious. I look like I'm in my 50s. You look like you're in your 30s.
Oh, geez, if only you were just a little bit closer, I'd give you a big old hug.
Well, wanted to let you know, first off, that Austin won't be here. He wasn't able to join us tonight. He unfortunately had other issues, but, that's okay. I don't mind running the ship. That's because that's the way.
That's all right.
I kind of like it.
All righty, Captain.
So how you been doing?
I'm doing well. I'm a little frazzled right now. You know, the school's got duck eggs, and some of them have hatched. And I been kind of watching. Yeah, I know, for the kids, right? It's part of their science project. So it's really cute because two of them have hatched in one room, and the other room, one's pecking to get out. So I told one of the teachers, I'll kind of keep an eye on the eggs for you tonight. It's so cute because I walked in about an hour ago to check them, and the one looks up at me and says, Mama? No.
Are you serious? No.
Yeah, she said Grandma. No, it said Grandma.
No,
that's right.
No, stop it. You're only one person's grandma. You're only one person's grandma, so we'll leave it at that.
That's right. Well, she came here today to have a look at them. Anyway, okay.
No. I was going to tell you because we were talking about your recent trip you had up here to the States. How did that go for you?
Oh, it was great. Have you ever sat in a multi-billionaire's chair?
I can't say that I have lately.
Okay, I have done that, and I'm telling you, I got the biggest rush. It was unbelievable.
Really?
Do you think Vince McMahon would let you walk around Titan Towers and to all the executive offices?
Did you start feeling like you wanted to walk around and flap your arms like he did? The McMahon strut.
Yeah, no kidding. I was like, holy cow! Like, who gets to do this stuff? You know,
and get the,
like
that famous "You're fired." You know, just kidding.
Yeah, I was going to do that. There wasn't a chance, though.
But that's cool. So, I mean, everything went well. I mean, it's been probably a while since you've been out this way. I mean, how often do you come to the States, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, I haven't been for a long time since, let's see, when I lived in Tucson. So, what, 4 years ago?
You know, yeah. I remember seeing that you lived there. I think, really? I would have never guessed. I would have guessed that she loved the winters of Canada as a preferring, instead of going for the heat of Arizona, of all places. Huh. I lived there. I
know.
Well, not fun.
Well, Tucson's better than Phoenix, so.
You know what? I will agree with you on that. I've been through there before, and although I don't like the weather, I will agree. Yeah,
but Phoenix is like walking outside into a microwave oven or something. Just horrible.
Well, then again, if you remember what Florida was like, that's almost a good second place right there, if not a very maybe tied first.
Yeah, I could do Florida, but not Phoenix. It's just, I don't know, that's a different kind of heat, you know. I've never experienced heat like that anywhere else. It's always like with humidity or, you know, it's not that pounding you into the ground kind of heat as soon as you walk outside, you know. Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
But Provo was great. Oh, sorry. We're having a feedback thing.
Yeah, please. Yeah, go ahead. Tell me.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. Well, anyway, Provo was great. Hopefully, you know, we went down there for the love of children. To work with, nurse the children, hoping that, you know, we can do some business with them to ship food overseas to countries that they haven't been into, which, you know, like India and Nepal and Sri Lanka and things like that. I mean, they distribute in other countries, but not the main ones that we go to, so. Hopefully it'll all turn out. I got my fingers crossed because, you know, that's my thing, you know.
That's your thing.
And in their goal, like nurse the children, their goal is to abolish child hunger by 2020. You know.
You know what? That would be the best thing. That would be very, very sweet because I know that even back when I was, you know, this is going back about 20 plus years. I would always see those commercials. You still see them now. You still see the ones about the children who are needing the help and being fed and so forth. And I commend you for that. That's a really honorable thing to be taking part in. And I know that's something that's near and dear to your heart. You and I have talked about that many times. And I can only say I wish you the very best. And hopefully, you know, once it gets up and, you know, started and rolling around and you get free time to come back on and tell us about it. Shoot, we'd love to hear more about it.
Yeah. Oh no, I'd love to talk more about it. Like I said, we've just linked up, so you know it's just a matter of getting everyone on board. So,
of course.
Yeah.
I wanted to actually ask you about 2 topics, if you don't mind.
Oh sure. Yeah. Let's get right into it because I got 30 minutes.
No problem. We'll talk about the first topic.
Okay.
As I mentioned to you. And we jokingly talked about this, but, you know, when I was telling Austin about it, it was, oh, no, we got to get her. She's awesome, and I think she'd do great. And I said, well, I didn't know if we were really taking it serious, but what the hell, you know, why not? Stranger things have happened. And what do you think of this title, Julie? The host of the Julie Hart Show, Julie. I know that's kind of lame, but, you know, have your own podcast going and be on here just having fun, just telling stories, telling jokes. Just laughing and having a good old time. What do you think?
Wow. Yeah. Let's do that.
I mean, Austin and I were talking and suggesting an idea. I don't know. Maybe if you had, I know Saturday would work better for you in your schedule if you did it like every other Saturday, like do it like twice a month or something like that. Give you time to build up a little itinerary that you can do and so forth, and just kind of have fun with it. Make it your own.
Oh, you know, yeah, we should talk more about that. That would be really cool.
Yes, ma'am.
You know?
I think it would be, and I know that you have tons and tons and tons of stories, and you have tons and tons and tons of friends and fans.
Yeah, not just at home, but abroad.
You told me about Owen. Do you remember that story you told me? I think it was, God, I want to say, oh, my goodness. I think this was back when we had you on in July last year. You had told me a story about Owen, and I we used that clip because it was just such a great part of the show, and it just made us all laugh. Obviously, the prankster that he was, and we added that into our Best of 2013 show.
Aw, that's so nice.
Absolutely. And, a couple of updates I wanted to throw at you, too, is throwing at you that when we did the show for Randy back in November, Lanny was very touched that you actually took a moment to tell your stories about when you met Randy and Liz years and years back. He said, she kind of put Randy over more than her own husband at the time. And he
did he say that? Oh.
Well, he was surprised, but he thought that was very sweet of you for you to even take time to do that. That meant a lot to him.
Well, Randy's a really sweet guy. That's the thing, right? Like, I think people don't see them as real people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
And I guess I got to see the two sides of all of these guys, and the women and stuff. So,
and, that actually leads me into my second point I wanted to bring to you real quick, and then we can continue on with our discussion as I still have you here for another 15, 20 minutes. As I was telling you, we talked about it very briefly through messaging, and I ran into Sherry Martell's son.
Oh, you did? How's he doing?
Well, and it's just out of coincidence because I helped run a Sherry Martell tribute page on Facebook, and I just happened to reach out to him, and he was such a friendly guy. Oh, my God. He was such a friendly guy. And, he gave me his phone number, and I gave him a call, and I said, yeah, I'm going to have Julie Hart on the show tomorrow. And he's like, really? Julie Hart? Oh, you got to put me in contact with her because she was such an awesome lady when I was around with my mom. And she was just the best. She was such a sweetheart. I really need to get in contact. I said, you know what? I'll shoot her a message and tell her about it and let you guys connect on Facebook if you want to chat or something. I said, but he was so open about so many things and how much fun he had backstage. And when I mentioned your name, you could hear it, like almost his voice kind of get excited because he really spoke so highly about you. He said you were one of the sweetest people he had a chance to see back then.
Oh, he was a really cute little kid. I haven't seen him since he was a little kid,
Yeah,
when
that's what he said. He said
was on the road,
He was different back then.
Oh, yeah.
But I thought that was pretty
cool. Oh, I'd love to talk to him. Yeah, that'd be great. PM me later.
No.
Give me the
I
details
actually did.
later.
When you get a chance to get on Facebook again, I sent you the message, and like I said, I'll leave that to you too. And I think it really make his day because I know that we were planning. I wanted to do something for his mom, but we hadn't really worked on something like just yet. But and when I told him about that, he lit up about it. He was like really excited, and he says, I appreciate you coming. Because I'd asked him, I said, if I had considered doing something like that, would you be okay with that? I respect people and families' decisions on things like that. He said, no, please. If you want to, please do. I'd be on board and. Anything for my mom.
Oh, that'd be great.
But yeah, I just thought I'd bring that to your attention, and I thought that you'd get a kick out of that because, like, you guys got to see, because he would tell me how different, just like you did, just kind of how different the wrestling is and was, as far as it is now as it was back then. It was more family oriented. It was a little bit more, you watch my kid when I go out there and wrestle and go out and have some drinks afterwards and kind of thing.
Yeah.
That was another thing I wanted to bring up to you. When Brett was inducted, it happened to be the same year that Sherry was. That's why I was like, oh, you didn't see her speech. My goodness. If you get a chance to check out the videos on my Facebook page, it's hard to find. It is so hard to find her actual speech, but I found it. It's kind of in there, and you had to look a little bit, but I found it. And she was just so excited is not the word.
I know. I've got pictures of her and Jade she hadn't seen Jade since she was a little kid too, right? And then Jade said that
she said that she hung out with your kids. No, not she, but Jared actually hung out with your kids during that time.
Yeah, but the minute she saw Jade, she knew who Jade was right away. She's like, Jade, you know. But yeah, no, Sherry was a really, really good woman. Like, I loved her to death. We went shopping all the time. Every time I saw her. But
oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and did she really? I mean, you got to see obviously before she came out and so forth. She really got into that character really well. I mean, she knew how to make you hate her, and she knew well. I don't think she. I mean, she obviously became popular eventually, but I mean, for the most part, she was like always hated as a manager.
Yeah, she was nothing like that in real life.
Oh, I believe that. I believe that. Videos I've seen, but I never got to see the real thing, and I can imagine how much fun it was with her, and just how I've heard down to earth and such a sweetheart she was.
Yeah, I can hear her voice right now. Everybody was baby. What's up, baby?
But you know, those are things that I really think would be good, and I know that you've been. That was one final thing I was going to mention too was the Hart Legacy wrestling. I know that you were going to be on in a couple days on another show, kind of doing talking about the situation there. You and I talked about it a little bit. I'll leave that for the, you talk about it on there. Unless you care to comment anything about it, it's up to you. I'll leave it up to you.
Yeah, no, we're looking forward to that show. It's Teddy Hart against Harry Smith. It's kind of like the old Davey and Tom.
You know?
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, both great wrestlers too, right? Like, Harry Big and Teddy.
How's Harry doing? He's been out in Japan quite a bit, right?
Yeah, he's been traveling quite a bit. Like, I'm so happy for him, and he's doing quite well. They love him over there. They loved his dad over there too, so it doesn't surprise me.
I heard.
Yeah.
I heard.
He's such a great kid too. He's just like Davey. He really is. He's so sweet and kind.
I mean, exactly what I was going to say. You could probably close your eyes and probably think of Davey right in there.
Oh, yeah, like even some of his mannerisms, like we rode up with him to a show a few months ago, and my sister Michelle and me and Harry, and he was so cute. Like his hands, he does something with his hands, and I'm like, oh my God, that's just like Davey, And even how he, like, sometimes, like, Davey had this, like, really sweet, like, when he'd ask you a question, it would be, like, so childlike, And Harry's the same way. Like, it's so innocent. Like, you think he's ribbing you, but, it was just like how Davey would do it. But anyway, we see him quite a bit, and he's doing really well, and we're so happy for him, and, stuff like that. But let's get to the real issue here, right?
Please go ahead.
What do you want?
Please go ahead.
No, what do you want to ask me about Nancy Grace?
Oh, you don't want me to go there. You don't want me to go. No, you know what? Do it. I'm all for freedom of speech, and that crazy ass. I'm sorry, did I say that? That crazy woman.
Yeah, you said that. Oh.
You know what? I was going to use a different word, more colorful, but you know what? I try to contain myself unless I get really upset, and she did. She pushed the wrong buttons with me. I mean, I understood the whole, and I'm only going to mention it by name because the whole controversy with the Benoit thing, and that's fine. Whatever. We'll move on from that. The main issue I had with her was the fact that when she had Dallas on there, and I feel bad for the guy because I really feel like he was just caught off guard and wasn't expecting the slam that he was going to get. But if you saw in there that they put Owen's name up there, that's what really pissed me off. And then Joey Morella too. He didn't.
Oh.
None of these, that really, really touched me. That really pissed me off to no end, because that's just false advertising, right? That's like false promoting her little evil tirade of evil demon hell that she can deal with, whatever. Anyways, like I said, she's not really on my favorite people right now, but anyways, I will let you say what you will about that. Please do.
Well, when I first heard about it and stuff, because I haven't seen the clip, but of course, it was the topic of conversation at our house for a while, but my first thought was, where's David Schultz when you need him?
Wow, I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah, remember when David slapped, what's his name for... someone needed to have David Schultz walk on and do one of those kind of slaps.
Maybe do a drive-by slapping, or a walk-by slapping, or something.
Well, the only thing I wanted to say about that is that it's a combination of really bad journalism. The research department, whoever researched that stuff, they obviously didn't,
No.
To even lump Owen in.
Exactly.
And Joy Morella, holy cow. But especially Owen. And what bothered me the most was his kids have to hear stuff like that.
And none of it was
it's just so hurtful. It's
Absolutely.
harmful. It's, I don't know, it's just horrible,
Well,
but, and then again, it's since
did you get a chance to, or at all really? Have you actually had the chance to talk to Oj or Athena or even Martha?
No, Oj is away at school. He's in university. And I saw Martha about 3 weeks ago at a function when we did our, For Love of Children, did their movie premiere because Martha was in it. And then I saw her and we chatted a little bit. And Martha doesn't talk wrestling.
You know what? I respect that.
Yeah, and that's really cool.
You're doing okay.
Yeah, we just talked about the kids and where I was at and where she was at, and because I hadn't seen her since Stu died. Yeah, that was the last time I saw Martha. But so we caught up and had a lovely chat and stuff, and just left it at that. But she would, even I know her, she would not even bring that up. That would not be a topic of conversation with her or anyone because it's just so stupid.
It is.
Because if anyone that knew Owen knew that he wouldn't even take a Tylenol.
Exactly.
He was probably...
even knew that, obviously, by the stories we were told, that we would never believe Owen would do anything like that. If anything, he was as ordinary as anybody, and he was just as happy to be that ordinary.
Yeah, well, someone dropped the ball on that one, and it's just horrible. But
it was.
And in a sense, after I thought about it, is I'm not going to let it affect me because I know who Owen was.
Exactly.
And it's just someone thought that let's throw Owen Hart in there. How stupid is that? Is that for ratings or what? Is the show bombing or what? Yeah,
I think that's what they were looking for, being malicious and vicious and just not for the right reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, it has nothing to do with Jim Hellwig in any way. None of those deaths had anything to do with him, and it was a tragic moment for Jim to pass. But, why dredge up things that had nothing to do with it? That's my thing. Well,
yeah, and these people forget that they have children.
Exactly. Exactly.
That just bothers me. Who cares? That's got nothing to do with this person as a human being. Even if some of those people did die from addictions or whatever, they had problems.
Agreed.
We don't know what those problems are. I don't. I didn't live with those. Yeah, I didn't live with those people. I don't know what was going on at home, or if they had injuries, or it's so sad when people jump the gun right away, like, you know, oh, he's just an addict or whatever. Like, why is he an addict? Why don't we ask that? Like, you know, why? What can we do to help? You know, but anyway, it's just, it bothered me a lot, and then I thought about it, and I just said that was the, you know, so what, now I'm going to tune in and watch Nancy Grace? You know, probably not. You know,
that witch needs to be taken off television, and you know what, whatever. We'll move on from that topic real quick, and if anything, with the last few minutes that I have you on, if you wanted to talk a little bit about their upcoming show that they're going to have. I mean, I know you talked about Teddy versus, I think they're referring to him as Davy Boy Jr.?
Davy Boy Smith Jr., yeah.
Sorry. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I did, and you did. Thank you so much. When I believe it falls on July 11th.
Yeah, everything's still on sale, and you know, the thing about Hart Legacy Wrestling is the CEO of that company, which is Stacey Angel. You know, you gotta bless her soul. You know, they've had some bad press over the last year or so, and you know, I commend her for hanging in there and just moving forward all the time, like no matter what. I mean, she deserves a chance like anybody else does in this business, you know, any indie show or promotion or whatever. And it's kind of sad when you hear people shoot it down or whatever the rumblings are in the wrestling world, you know. But
I would love to be there to watch the show live, you know.
Yeah, but if anyone knew, you know, it's going to be a great thing, and I hope, you know, this becomes bigger. Because they had a great thing last year, you know, and then it kind of went south because it got such bad press from people, and there was, you know, a lot of hurtful things said about people, and, you know, but she's like that, the little promotion that could.
You know,
and
that's
would.
A very good expression right there. You know.
Yeah,
go ahead.
And everyone deserves a chance, right? You know,
absolutely,
it's
you know.
sort of like, I don't know, she hangs in there pretty good, and I really wanted to see Hart Legacy, you know, succeed.
Absolutely. I don't think I could have said that any better.
Yeah, because she works really damn hard, and I don't think anyone really sees how hard she works, you know. And there's been some stuff flying around about the Benoit boy and all that, but, you know, misunderstandings and things got out of hand and things were said, but, okay, well, that's just how this business is, I guess, right?
That's why pencils have erasers, and that's why, you know what, if what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and you know what, I wish them the very best of luck. Like I said, you know, we're very, you know, we're very happy that they were able to continue on from this and still be able to put on a show. You know, this is not something that I would like Stampede, but you know what, it doesn't mean that it can't be.
That's right. You know, and I keep saying that, everyone deserves a chance. Every little indie show that I go to, I love it because that passion is there. You know,
and I love that you go to these shows. That is so awesome.
Yeah, like it's, you know, that's part of these wrestlers' dreams. You
Absolutely.
know, to make it, even if they make it with a big indie show or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's all there.
You know what? That's very true, and I love. Anyway, let me ask you something now. Would you have expected, say, I don't know, 30 years ago, whatever, that you'd be going to indie wrestling shows?
No.
And that's what I love about it, because you actually get it, like it, and you get it, and you appreciate for what it is.
Well, I do, because now, like after everything has been said and done, like walking back into it, I look at it differently with different eyes. It's like, man, I remember how hard Brett worked and how hard Stu worked and
Absolutely.
everyone to fill up that little arena, even if it was like 50 or 75 people, and they would drive like 500 miles, 400 miles, whatever it was. I really, really appreciate it now, and I don't know why I didn't before. I took that for granted, I guess, right?
But you know what, though? You still have those stories that you can look back on and just laugh because, remembering, even just by using an example of your book, Heartstrings, which, by the way, folks, it is available on Amazon. You need to check it out. And I keep pushing this girl to make a part 2, maybe a part 3 and a 4. It beckons a sequel. But she talks about her meeting the Hart family at the very first time and how intimidated she was and how she found out that Helen Hart was such a she was such a lovable woman. I've heard that, and I don't doubt it. Like she'd come in and she'd just like welcome you and just make you feel loved.
Yeah.
And Stu, he may have intimidated you, but I think he enjoyed that he could do that.
Yeah. Aww.
And I have to throw in that example of, the Wrestling with Shadows. And the example I'm going to use out of that was the stories about Stu, bringing the young guys down there and making them scream like they were being killed.
Yeah,
I was laughing so hard because they really thought, come on, this old man's not going to hurt me. Oh, wow. Oh, were they sadly mistaken? That was some funny stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, I know that, as I said, you may not have appreciated it back then, but you can look back on it and realize, wow, what a moment. What a moment in time. I'm so glad that I could be a part of it, even if it was just being in the room when it happened.
Yeah, well, I never got to see Stu stretch anyone.
Well, I don't know. Did you ever get a chance to see the final product of the documentary you guys did?
Well, see, now I only watched, I think I told you that before, I've only seen Wrestling with Shadows once, and even then I kept turning away. It's kind of hard to
and the only reason I say that is because
stuff,
I wanted you to see the stuff with Stu, so you can see for yourself the stuff that would happen and how the Hart guys would talk about bringing in the young guys that come into the dungeon, and Stu would just be salivating at the chance to stretch these guys out.
Well, I remember when Brett brought home a cassette tape that had Tanya Tucker song in the background that Bruce had taped. Of Stu stretching somebody. It was the most horrible. It was just like, I remember Brett and his friend Dean Wilkinson laughing so hard, like they were listening to it, and I'm like, oh my God. Like that guy was like, Stu, like really, like it was pitiful. Okay. Right? I'm like, holy cow. And even Brett telling me stories about Stu would pop guys' blood vessels in their eyes and stuff.
Yes. But you know what? I'm going to get with Austin, and him and I are going to probably, if we can do this, we'll probably do a conference call with you sometime later in the week, maybe Saturday if that's a better day for you. And we'll talk about the idea of working with you on something like this and making it your own. I mean, if anything, just having fun with it. Why not? Yeah,
that'd be great. That'd be kind of cool. What next, right, Felix? Jeez.
Yeah.
That's true. Right.
I think it'd be a lot of fun for you because you're a character. You're always a joy to speak with. You're always such a positive person. Even in the craziest times that we could all be in, you always find a reason to laugh. And that's what me and Austin really dig about you.
Oh, well, thanks. Hey, when's your grad?
I actually will be this Friday.
Mine's next weekend. So guess who I'm taking to my
college girl? Look at you.
I know. Guess who I'm taking? Kyra Beans. I'm taking Kyra Beans.
Oh, that's cool. You know what?
You can see Grandma walk the stage.
Oh, she's gonna walk. You're gonna walk the stage?
Yeah, she's gonna see Grandma walk the stage and get her little little diploma, I guess, right? Yeah.
Now, well, you know what? I don't even know what they give nowadays. Back when I graduated high school, they just gave me the outer part of it, and they'd mail me the diploma later. I don't know if they still do that or not.
I don't know. I think because I did the Aboriginal program, so I think I'm going to get an eagle feather or something.
Well, there you go. You better take pictures.
Yeah, oh, God, I will. I'm hoping they'll let me bring Kyra on the stage when I go up to accept it.
I don't see why not. Rock on.
Yeah.
There you go. You're never too old to learn.
And she knows how to use the iPhone to take a picture.
That's awesome.
I know. These kids today, I'll tell you. Jeez.
I'm telling you.
Anyway, gotta run, my friend.
No, it's
gotta run
myself. It's always a pleasure. I wish you the best, and I will be in touch with you very soon.
Yes.
Don't work too hard, and definitely go home and relax. Drink a beer if you got them.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not out of here till 11, so anyway.
Well, you know what? It's always so much fun. You're always welcome here anytime.
Well, thank you very much, Felix. I had a great chat with you tonight as well.
And Austin definitely wishes he could have been here. You'll just have to nail him next time. Be like, you know what? You missed out. Too bad. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I'll send him a Facebook message.
There you go.
How dare you miss it?
I'm saying. But it's always wonderful speaking with you, Julie. You're a good person. I wish you the best, and I'll be in touch with you.
Thank you, Felix.
All right, you take care.
Okay, you too. Night.
All right. Bye-bye. The one and only Julie Hart. Man, I always get a kick out of talking with her. I swear we'll get on and we'll just start talking about the craziest things and be laughing about the silliest things, really. Nancy Grace, ooh, you don't want to get me started on that one. But you know what? It's a joy. If we can work on something to bring her on and have her own show, I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think people would really get a kick out of that. Julie's a character. I love her to death. I know Austin really, really regrets not being here. But you know what? The show must go on, folks, and it has. In the meantime, I believe we have a caller calling in here. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is my good buddy David. I could be wrong, but if not, hey, I'm always up for answering questions. So here we go, folks. Hello, you're on the air.
This is David Fuller.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
How are you, sir? Thank you for having me on. It's finally get to speak each other, not on Facebook.
I'm telling you, hey, it's good to have connections, good to chat about guests and so forth. And you know what? I said I got to get him on. We got to get him on. And you know what? I'm glad I was able to do it. I've been watching you rebuild your brand here, your company, and you're ready to get it going again. And you got an upcoming show. Fill me in on it.
Yes, I do, and thank you for having me. And I think podcasts they do a lot of good for the wrestling business, and I think they just do wonders. And you got one of the best, Felix, and I do appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
On Sunday, June 8th, IHWE is going to make a return. It's been 2 years since we put on a live event. We've been doing things, besides live event. We have the Hall of Fame and stuff, but it's been 2 years since we've had a live event. So we're going to return to Fort Worth, Texas, which is World Class Championship Wrestling territory, and we've got a big lineup, mostly of Texas stars, but a few names people may recognize outside of Texas. The IHWE Heavyweight Champion, Mr. 5.5, the reality television star Matt Riviera will be there. He will be, not sure if he's going to be defending the title. Matt kind of does his own thing, but he's Matt Riviera, so he gets to do that. We also have Dragon Gate superstar Johnny Gargano making his Texas wrestling debut. I am so excited about that. He is going to go one-on-one.
Cool. Yeah.
He's going to go one-on-one with Thomas Shire. Thomas Shire is a former two-time Bang TV heavyweight champion. He is a pupil of Dory Funk Jr. He's also wrestled at All Japan Pro Wrestling. Yes. So, and then we also had the Terry Gordy Memorial Battle Royal. Terry's family will be on hand. It's going to be fantastic. Black Bart is the commissioner. James Beard and Rick Manning of World Class Championship Wrestling fame will be our officials for the evening. It is going to be a fantastic show. Yes. So I'm very excited.
Wow. It's like I said, like you told me, there may not be names I remember, but names that I do, and I have to throw out there because I was really impressed to see somebody who I had actually grown up watching on television, not very often, but I did see him from time to time, and that was actually Stan Hansen.
Yes. Stan,
and that was
Stan,
talk about a Japanese legend right there. I mean, he made a name for himself out there, let alone Texas.
Yeah, Stan is a good friend of mine. I was very lucky to talk to him a few years ago, and this just kind of snowballed. He's been to the Hall of Fame the last 2 years. Last year he came and accepted on behalf of Barbara Goodish when we inducted Bruce Brody, and then this year we inducted him. His Hall of Fame speech is on our YouTube page. Stan's going to be back in September for our last event. Him and Barbara Goodish will be there together. They were just at the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame ceremony, I believe, last weekend in Amsterdam. And they're just two wonderful people. Stan is so, my goodness, you call him on the phone and you talk to him, and he's so humble, and, he's not, for a guy who's done that much, it amazes me. There's some guys who've never done anything, yet you talk to them, and they were superstars, yet Stan Hansen is the most humble, modest guy you'll ever speak to, and I really admire that. He has such class, such character, and I'm lucky to call him friend. I'm very lucky.
That is very, very cool. He's one of the people that, some of the guys nowadays emulate as far as the lariat, the clothesline from hell, if you will. The JBLs, the Hawk, Justin Hawk Bradshaw, whatever you want to call him. Even now to the Wyatt family, there's Luke Harper, the guys with the clothesline. It all goes back. I mean, maybe it was before Stan, but Stan, he was definitely big during my generation. Wrestling for the NWA, wrestling because I remember he was in, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, he was briefly in WCW for a little while.
Yeah, he was a United States champion in 1990. He came in and had a brief feud with Luger. The problem with Hansen it wasn't necessarily the problem. Is Hansen was making so much money in Japan that I don't think the American companies. It's not that they couldn't match what he was making in Japan. I don't think they knew what they had, if that makes sense.
I don't think so either. I'm definitely a fan of Mr. Hansen. I would love to get him on our show, and we'll have to talk more about that later.
Definitely.
You know what, folks? Please, by all means, throw out your website, and if you have any social media that you have, please, by all means, if they want to keep up with what's going on. I know Texas is a real hotbed for professional wrestling. Especially with the return of the Von Erichs coming out in July as well. And, of course, the fan base for your company, I'm pretty sure is still there, and if not, probably really, really huge. I apologize, I'm not familiar with it, but I know you can definitely educate me on, the fan base there and all your social media, so please, plug away.
Thank you. Well, the fan base is still here because World Class Championship Wrestling has such an impact. And not only were WCCW, we had WCCW, we had the USWA, we had Global. Before that, it was Fritz Von Erich promoting big-time wrestling. Before Fritz, it was Ed McLemore. So, yes, the history is just so deep in this territory, and the history is so deep in Texas. I spoke to Jim Ross a few weeks ago, and he said no state had contributed more to professional wrestling than the state of Texas.
Amen to that.
So, that's pretty big. So, yeah, our social media, we have a website. It's IHWE Now. That's IHWENOW.com. It has everything you need to know for IHWE. Starting July 30th, we have a weekly episodic television show that will be available for free all over the world on YouTube. You will be able to see a weekly episodic show just like the old days right here from Fort Worth, Texas, with the superstars and legends of IHWE and Texas Pro Wrestling. We do have a weekly podcast, much like Felix. It's IHW Radio. It's every Wednesday night on blogtalkradio.com/IHW Radio. Tomorrow night we have James E. Cornette.
Yes, please tell me. I want to hear about this one.
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
Jim. I've actually got a phone interview with Jim tomorrow. It was just set up through a mutual friend of ours, and 5 minutes before we were supposed to go on the air last week, Jim called me and said, David, we got severe storms, my power's out, I'm on my cell phone, I've got one bar left, and I'm calling you, my wife's mad at me. He said, but we need to do this. He said, I didn't want to let you down, so I thought that was really cool. Jim doesn't know me from dirt, but he did call, and then we stayed in touch over email. we're going to have a conversation tomorrow about some stuff with IHWE, and then we're going to talk about the show. And he'll be on tomorrow night at 8 Central. Last week actually worked out pretty well because we had Dan Bynum. Felix,
yeah.
The guy I would suggest you having on because he worked in World Class Championship Wrestling. He worked in WCW. He actually directed WCW Saturday Night and the Clash of Champions.
Oh, nice.
And he really works with Ring of Honor. He works in their production. So he has a lot of stories. And he ended up coming on early and staying on for about an hour and a half. So Dan actually saved our tails. So
that's cool.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you look up IHWE, you'll find us somehow. We got a number of different social media outlets. I'm always on Twitter doing something. But yeah, June 8th, we're going to have a lot of different things going on. But yeah, if you like
definitely.
Texas wrestling, even if you're not in Texas and you like the old school stuff, give us a watch. We have plenty of videos on our YouTube page right now. We got some global wrestling footage. I got an hour-long episode of Gary Hart's Texas Championship Wrestling uploaded. Just different things. I was broken by Johnny Valentine, so I'm all about the history.
There you go. That is very cool. I'm glad you're able to come on and educate my listeners as far as what you guys are all about. I've been watching and keeping an eye on, and I love the idea of bringing Cornette in. If anybody can tell you some stories, old Corny will tell you some stories.
Yes, sir.
And he's not afraid to sugarcoat. He's not going to sugarcoat anything. If anything, he's going to tell you like it is.
Yes, sir.
And that's what I love about him. And I definitely look forward to hearing it. Best of luck to you guys. And please keep on plugging away because you guys do a great job on your show.
Thank you, Felix. We'll have you on IHW Radio sometime. Thank you, Pipebomb Radio listeners. Have a good night. Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. 2 for the price of 1. You know what? That being said, I just kind of got sidetracked. I apologize. I do want to bring up who our next week's guest is going to be. Second generation? I guess you could say second, maybe third generation if you think about it. Third generation superstar. He's the son of a wrestling legend. He is the son of Fit Finley. His name is David Finley, who will be joining us next week on our show here to talk about his upcoming career in professional wrestling, working with his dad as he's gotten to work with his dad on the independents when Fit was actually working the independents, and he brought his son with him. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun, some great conversations, and tell some stories and his aspirations. He's a very young man, so I'm the sky's the limit for this kid. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I will, I definitely invite, I think we're going to probably bring David back again, David Fuller, to come on and talk about his upcoming show. We might bring him back in a couple weeks as they get closer to the show. I had fun. I wasn't aware of a lot of the what their company was about, but you know what? One thing for sure I can definitely agree on is that Texas was definitely a hotbed for wrestling. I can't deny that anymore because of the fact that just look at the Von Erich Nation. I mean, my God. They're still hot about the Von Erichs 30 years later, let me tell you. If you don't believe me, I believe you can ask my friend Claudia. If you can't ask Claudia, ask my friend Lisa. If you can't ask Lisa, talk to Austin next week. Because unless Austin can bring himself to actually get up here and call into the damn show, hello, I'm waiting on you. If not, that's cool. You know me, I can usually handle things. As far as Julie Hart goes, love her to death. Such an amazing woman. I'm so proud to call her a friend. For Hart Legacy Wrestling, you can definitely check them out as far as tickets for their show up in Calgary. It's going to be Teddy Hart versus Davey Boy Smith Jr. Definitely give him a show, guys. Go out there, check him out, give him a go. It's indie wrestling. It's the heart of professional wrestling. It's where people come in and they don't do it for the money. They do it for the fact that they can get out there and entertain the public. HeartLegacyWrestling.com. You can get all your tickets. And for their social media, they are available on Facebook and Twitter. And you definitely want to check out their website. Their website's pretty doggone cool, let me tell you. As far as that goes, you know what? I think big things are in the future for Pipebomb Radio. In the very near future for that. Stay tuned on that, folks, because it's a huge surprise we got coming for you this summer. I'm not going to say when it's going to be released, But as we get closer to that time frame, we will unveil the surprise. I love the idea of these ideas coming out and just building the Pipebomb Radio brand into something really big. I think you guys will get a kick out of it. For now, since it doesn't appear like that Austin will be calling in tonight, just messing with you, buddy, just messing with you. I guess I'll go ahead and bring it to a close unless there's anything else I see. As far as Raw last night, well, let's just say I wasn't expecting that the Wyatts were going to attack King and JBL. JBL, I haven't seen him really take a bump in a few years, considering he'd pretty much been retired, but hell, he took a hell of a clothesline last night. I saw that and be like, wow. I mean, the dude is 45-plus years old, and he's out there taking a clothesline from these big-ass men there, and I'm like, my goodness. But we've got some big things in store, folks. I'm just rambling on and on because, that's what I do best. But definitely enjoyed tonight's show. You're going to enjoy next week's show. We got big stars coming on the horizon for us, folks. Big stars coming. We got David Hart coming. We've got another surprise or two coming in the near couple of weeks in June. The summer's going to be red hot, let me tell you. Oh, I know you ain't going to talk about Bo Dallas, Austin. Come on now. Bo Dallas, I am not a believer. Are you a believer, Austin? I still call him delusional. Oh, goodness gracious. But you know what, folks? He is a young man. He's definitely got a bright future. I'm not really sure how keen I am right now on the whole Bo-Leave character, but if it works, more power to him. I wasn't sure about the Wyatts, but, they got over really well, and they impressed me, and I became a fan. And you know what? If this kid impresses me, I'll admit it. I'm always one, if I make a mistake and about a star or superstar, Austin likes to give me crap about it, but you know what? I'm a man of my word. If I'm wrong about him and he starts to pick up some momentum, maybe I'll become a believer one day. Who's to say? I want to thank Julie Hart for coming on tonight. I want to thank David Fuller for taking time to come on. And on behalf of myself and Austin, who is absent this week, he will return next week. I want to say thank you guys for listening tonight here at Pipebomb Radio. Keep your feet on the ground, folks, and keep reaching for the stars.